Hi, so on this video, I will show you how to create an AI system that will automatically scrape leads for you and use those informations about the leads to generate icebreakers so we can use them into our email, cold email campaign. And then we'll automatically add those leads into our cold email campaign on instantly. Okay, so for the roadmap of this lesson, first we will see all the tools that I'm using for this AI cold email outreach system. Then I will show you how I write my cold emails for a high converting campaigns. Then I will show you how I configure my cold email campaign on instantly. Then we will start building the workflow to automate the whole thing, as I said, from scraping to sending the emails. Okay, and I will show you how the automation works exactly. This workflow that we're gonna build, it will take an Apollo URL as input to define the target leads you want to scrape. So the software that I use for sourcing leads, it's Apollo, and I will go to Apollo. I will define filters and I will define the exact type of leads that I want, and then I will take that URL and I will feed it to the automation. Then the automation, it will do the rest. I will show you everything later on the video. So it will automatically take that URL as an input and scrape those leads using an Amplify actor, and then it will enrich those leads with a multi-line email opener. Then optionally, if you want to store them into Google Sheet, this is optionally, and at the end it will add them to the cold email campaign that we will create on instantly. Okay, so for the tools that I will use on this video, there is N8N to build the workflow, Apollo, as I said, for sourcing the leads, and then we have Amplify. We will have an actor there to scrape the leads from Apollo. Then we will have OpenAI. We will use OpenAI module so we can generate multi-line personalizations, and then we will have, of course, instantly to manage our cold email campaign. Okay, so we will add our emails, or we will connect our email boxes into instantly so we can launch this campaign. Okay, and so let's go to the instantly. So this is also instantly. As you can see, I already have two campaigns active that I'm working with, and you can add your emails here, but the most important thing is we need to create a campaign. Okay, so in order to this so it can work, we need to have a campaign where we will automatically add leads to. Okay, so we will create a test campaign. Let's name it my test campaign, and here we have the leads. Normally we should do this manually, but I will now, because this is the automation, will automatically add the leads, so we don't have to add any leads because we will do it all automatically. Okay, then we have the sequences, and I will show you the exact sequences that I use. So I usually do two steps. I send two emails also, and I will have the first email, like it's the first when I pitch my offer, and then on the step 2, if they don't answer, we'll just give them one follow-up email. I like to do just one follow-up email. If I do multi follow-up emails, so you will have most likely to be marked as spam, and you don't want this. Okay, so I will do 2 days for the waiting time, and I will have one first email, and the second I will send a follow-up email. Okay, for how I write my emails, I will show you now the structure that I follow here. So this is how I write my sequences. I follow this simple copywriting formula. I start with the personalization, and we don't need to worry about this because it will be generated with AI for each lead. And then we will have I will say who am I and why I am reaching out, and then I will explain like why am I worth trusting, and then I will present the offer. Okay, this is an example of email that follows this formula. So for the personalization, as I said, it will be generated from AI, and this starts off every email because of how high leverage it is. Clients see your personalization, think like if you already searched about them, so it's a very like high ROI thing to do for your emails to be sent. So this is so important to have a personalization on your emails. Then I will explain like who am I, what is the results, or what is the achievements that I did, and then I will go to why am I worth trusting. If you want, I can share with you this document where I explain how I structure my emails. And for the follow-ups, I just like have a bullet points on what I've mentioned before here. Okay, so you can see an example of a follow-up email. And for the schedule, how I schedule my emails is I will go from Monday to Saturday between 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. on the or I think yes, 7 a.m. between 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. ET, or I think let's do PM. So I mostly do between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. This is the time schedule that I do for my cold emails, and I will show you how to configure all of this. Okay, so once you've created your sequences, you will have two steps. Here you can put your let's say your follow-up, and here you will put your first email, and you need to make sure to add a variables. And for the variables, it will be, let's say, icebreaker, and we'll name it icebreaker. So what this icebreaker mean? It's a variable, and it will be taken from a field of the leads that we're gonna upload here. So you need to make sure that this name is exactly the same name as you have on your field where you will be adding the leads, and I will show you how we can add the leads. On the leads that we have a specific field named icebreaker, and it should match the same name. Okay, so what this will do is it will take automatically the icebreaker field from the leads, and it will be replaced here. And then we will go on the rest of the email. We will write our email. This is the first sequence, and then we have the follow-up email. Okay, so then we will go to the schedule. As I said, I do between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I use the ET. It's dependent also on the people that you target. You can change the time zone, and I do from Monday to Saturday. Then I click on save. Then we have the options. So here I choose the emails. Here you can see all the emails that I have. You can connect a new email using this button. I enable this stop sending emails on a reply, and then I will check this. For the day limit, I suggest you to only send 30 emails per mailbox. Okay, if you, let's say for example you have here 4 accounts, so you can use 4 multiple 30 emails to be sent per day, 30 emails per mailbox. Okay, for this I keep it exactly as it is, and I don't change this, and I will just click on save. I will not launch it yet. Okay, so you can launch it, and then the leads will be automatically added to this campaign. Okay, we will automatically generate the icebreakers and add them to this campaign. So if you want to launch it, you can launch it, but there is no leads, and you will need to wait until you upload your all leads. Okay, so now let's go and create the automation for this AI email called email system. Okay, so now create a new workflow, and let's start with the first node. So the first node will be we need to submit a form. It will be a trigger, which is a form submission, and we will input on it an Apollo URL, and I will explain this later on the video. So let's start with the form submission trigger. Okay, so this is the form submission, and for the title I will say enter Apollo URL to generate leads, and I will add one element. I will name it Apollo URL, and I will keep it as this. Okay, and what will be, I will input an Apollo URL, and what this Apollo URL will be, if we go to Apollo, you can go to the Apollo and sign in, and you will go to people. You can either scrape people or companies, and once we go into people, we can, for example, let's say we can do multiple, like multiple criterias or filters, so we can get leads. Okay, so now I will go and let's remove this. I will remove yes. Okay, and I will start the first thing with email status. I will need to make sure that it's verified, so we can get verified emails. Okay, and on the job titles I can input like keywords that I want of people that I want. Okay, for example, for me I want real estate agents, real estate broker, so I will input as much title as I want for the leads that I'm targeting, and also I can specify the location and the number of employers, and also for the industry. Okay, so I can change these filters, these criteria as much as I want, until I get like the leads that I'm interested in. Okay, and once I finish like the defining of leads here, I will have this URL, and this URL will contain all of the defining of the criteria that we defined here, and it will be good to use. Okay, so now as you can see we have 12,000 leads. We can just copy this link, and now the target is to actually scrape those leads. We can scrape 500, 1000, 10,000 until we continue all, or until we complete all of these leads. Okay, so let's just once you've defined your criteria, you can copy this link, and we will go to here. Okay, and let's execute this step. Okay, so let's execute this step, and it will give me this form. I will just input my Apollo link, and this what will start the automation. This will be the trigger of my automation. I will receive now the link here. Now we are good to go to scrape the leads. So the next step now, it will be to scrape the leads. And how I will do that, it will be an HTTP request that will be sent to the software that we're gonna use to scrape in the leads, which is Apify. So if we go to the Apify, let's go to Apify, and let's go to the Apify store. Here you can find like multiple scrapers. Okay, there is scraper for TikTok, there is scraper for Instagram. We can scrape whatever application we want or software we want. For us, we will use Apollo. This is our source of leads, and this is the scraper that I love to use. And I will show you how to send an HTTP request to that Apollo scraper, so we can scrape the provided URL. Okay, so let's continue this. Okay, for the HTTP request, I love to import a curl, so I have everything ready, and I will show you how to do it. We will go to our scraper, and we have here some configurations. So for me, all of these are optional, but if you want to scrape, we need to have less than 500. So don't worry about this. If you want to scrape leads just using like this on this software, like on this front end, you will not have any problem like scraping just 100. But if you want to scrape via an HTTP request, the minimum number of leads that we have to scrape, it's just 500. This is the minimum. So now we will go to the Apollo, and we need to know how to actually send API request to the endpoint of this scraper. So how to do it, we'll go to API, and we will search for API endpoints, and we will use this one, run actor synchronously and get dataset items. So if we send an HTTP request to this URL, it will automatically run the actor and scrape the leads with the provided URL, and we will get the dataset items inside my automation, and this is what I want. Okay, so I will go to the view API reference. Okay, great. So now we have the curl, but before that I need to give it an actor ID, sorry, and also a body. For the actor ID, it's the ID of the scraper that we're gonna use. So this is the scraper, and you can find its ID exactly here. I will copy this ID, and we copy it and put it here. I will put it here. No, sorry. I will put it on the actor ID, not on the bearer token. I will show you later how to get the token or your API key. For the body, I will go back to my Apollo. For the JSON, I will just copy this. So just click on the JSON and copy this, and you will be good to go, because we will change it later. Okay, to this, and I will remove all of this and copy this. Okay, so now I will import the curl, or let's just copy this and go to my HTTP request to import the curl, and I will just paste what I've copied, and let's click on import, and we'll be good to go. So now we've imported the HTTP request. As you can see, now everything is ready. It's better to set up everything from scratch. So as you can see here, we already have the URL, we have the actor ID inside the URL, so all is done. For the authentication, I will keep it as known, and for the authorization, this what needs to be changed. Okay, I will remove this token, I will keep bearer as it is, and I will go to get my API key. To get the API key, let's go back to my actor, or to Apify. I will go to the settings, and search for the API integrations, and I will just copy this one, go back to my agent, paste it here. Okay, so now I have the API key set up. So for this thing, I really love to change this. I will not, I will keep it as JSON, but I will not use fields below. I will define that I should import the JSON using JSON. Okay, so I will now go to my, as I did before, I will go here, I will go to my actors, go to the actor, and go to the JSON and copy this. So this is the JSON that I'm gonna use on my HTTP request. I will paste it here. Now everything is good. So as you can see here, we have the total records, the file name. So you don't need to worry about this. You can change this file name as you want. For the clean output, just keep it as false. We want every output, because if we do true, the output or the fields that we will get for the leads, it will be limited. So for us, we want the maximum of fields, because we will need that later while we will personalize the outreach, or while we will generate the personalization. The thing that needs to be changed there is the URL. So I will remove this URL and put this one. I will put the URL that we get from the form submission. Let's do it here. Okay. It doesn't. Let me Ctrl X and Ctrl V. Okay, good. So now we have the URL set up, and let's verify everything. For the total records, I said that we need to have the minimum 500 for the total records. The file name, I will keep it as it is, and I think we are good to go. For the API key, it's set up, so let's execute this step. Okay, but before that, I will want to pin this, so I can always have this result without having to execute this step again and again. Okay, so I will save this result, and I will go here and execute this step, and let's see if it will work. It will take time, so I will go back to you until it's finished. Okay, so it's still executing, and I will show you on the backend what happens. If we go to the runs, we will see that we've run the scraper, so it's still running. Now we've gathered 400 data, and there is now 2 minutes that it's running. So once we get all the 500 leads, it will appear on the automation, and we will continue the automation, generate the icebreakers for each lead, and I will show you that. Okay, great. So now, as you can see here, we get all the data. You see we have the 500 items, and if we go to the Apollo, we will see that the run was successful and it's finished. Okay, so as you can see, we have the 500 leads. It's finished. So let's go back to the automation and continue the workflow. Okay, and we have here 500 items. So the next thing that we want to generate the personalization, and then add them to the Google Sheet. But for the Google Sheet, it's optional. Like, you want to automatically add it to the cold email campaign on instantly. But if you want to save leads into your Google Sheet, you can do that. So the first thing, I need here to loop over items, because I can't send all these 500 items into ChatGPT and say to it to generate the personalization, because it will break and it will not work, and because it doesn't expect too many requests at the same time. So what I will do is I will loop over items. So for example, I will do batches. I will do, for example, 20 items per 20 item. Okay, so in for purpose of this build, I will add a limit node. Okay, limit node, but you don't need to do this. For you will just keep it as it is, but for me, I don't want to go over all the 500 items for each step, so I want to limit this to only output for me, let's say 15 leads. Okay, and let's do this. Let's execute this step. So now, after we've filtered 15 items only, so we have a limit of 15 items, and as I said, this is not necessary to do it just for me. So I can continue building this with only 15 items without having to pull out all the 500 items. So now the next step is to actually loop over the items. Okay, so we'll have another node which name loop, so we can loop over items, and we don't want to send all the items into the OpenAI modules, because it will not work and it will break. We need to loop over, like, let's say 5 items per 5 items. For the batch size I will put 5. Okay, and that's it. On here I will put an OpenAI first. OpenAI message a model, sorry, message a model. For the credentials you need to create a new credential, and I will show you how to do it. I will go to my OpenAI platform. Okay, and go to your API keys. Let's first log in. I will go to the parameters and go to the API keys and create a new key. Let's create a new secret key and name it N8N key for AI called email. You can give it whatever email, whatever name you want. For the project I will choose make project and create a secret key. Let's copy this API key and go back to my N8N, and I will just need to put my API key. Let's put save, and I will be good to go. Okay, so now we've connected the API key. What I will do next is I will need to choose a model. For me I will choose, let's say, the GPT-4.1 mini. Okay, and for the prompt I will have a user prompt, and then I will have also a system prompt. On the user prompt I will give you the prompt. I already have it here. By the way, you will have the you can have the template on the resources block, and it will contain all the prompts, and also you will have the whole workflow, so you don't need to worry about this. So this will be from the user, and this will be the inputs that we will get from the leads, the informations about the leads. So I will talk about this later. Let me first pass again the prompt for the system. I will select all, go, and paste here. Okay, I will need to remove this one because I need to have the data showed up here, so I can drag and drop the data here: the first name, the last name, the city, the title and the organization name, and also all of these informations. Okay, so I will go here and I need to execute this step. It will also take some time. Okay, so now it's executed. So what I will do is I will go here, okay, on the messaging model, and I will need to adjust this. Okay, so I will first, for the first name, I will not take you need to very pay attention on this, because you will not need to have the first name from this. I will go to the HTTP request and take it from here. Okay, so the first name it will be taken from the HTTP request module. Okay, I will do the first name like this. Okay, let me do this. Okay, and I will replace all the data. I guess you will have this already set up on your side, but you will still need to test and to execute the steps so you can have the data and map it. Okay, and if there is some error, you need to fix it. It will be probably because of the mapping of the data. For the last name, let me search for the last name. Here's the last name. I will put it here. For the city, where is the city? There's so much data here. Okay, so here's the city. And for the title, okay, here is the title. For the organization name, here is the organization name. For the headline, let me search for the headline. Name, LinkedIn URL, photo URL, GitHub. Here is the headline. Industry, let me search for the industry. Here is the industry. For the organization description, we will find it on the bottom. You see how much data we have from the leads. So how we go, and I will pick this one. Here is the organization short description, and I will put it here. Okay, so of course not all of the leads that we scrape, it will have the organization description, but we'll just include it here. And now we have all the inputs from our leads. And using this prompt or using this input data fields and using this system prompt, we will generate the icebreaker. Okay, so I will remove this one and replace it back with the organization name, email. Okay. Organization name. And for the organization description, I will put this one, organization description. Where is the organization description? Okay, I think now all good. I will just save this. And let's save this. We can execute this step. Okay, as you can see here that now the icebreakers have been generated. So now we need also to add another step here. Yes, if you want to add the leads into your Google Sheet, so first let's create the Google Sheet. I will go and create the Google Sheet. Let's type new. Okay. Okay, so this is the template where we will store the leads. We have the email, the icebreaker, and the organization. Basically, these are the important information that we need from the lead, especially the icebreaker. So as I said, this is just optionally. If you want to store your leads into a Google Sheet, you can add more like fields if you want. So for me, I will do this fields. Let me go back to my automation, and I will choose the Google Sheet. Google Sheet, yes, this one. Okay, so on here you will need to choose append row in a sheet. Okay, so we will choose the leads in N8N, and you need to connect first to your Google Sheet. It's easy, so just create a new credential and connect with your Google with the auth method for connecting. Okay, so now we need to map the leads. I will map all of the leads like this. For the ID, I will just put this. First name, we have this. For the last name, I will choose this one. The name is the same. Okay, we have here the email. Okay, what is the email? Email. I will click on this one. And then I have the icebreaker. Okay, so for the icebreaker, I will choose this one. Okay, and for the organization, where is the organization? Organization is the name of the organization. And for the email, I need to make sure that it exists. So that's why what I will do a step before this. Once we scrape, we need to have a condition, and I will say if email, okay, it needs to be existing. This is necessary, exists. Okay, and then what we will do, I will just start from here. Okay, so let's do it. Wait, I need to verify this, so let's execute everything. I will execute this step and let's see what will happen. Okay, so I should not limit this. Okay, so I should not limit this, and let's execute this again. So now it's executing. So you just need to make sure you don't pin the limit node. Okay, and if we go to the leads, we will see that all the leads are added plus the icebreakers. Okay. Okay, let me see. So the thing that I want to mention here, I forget to mention, is I need to output the content as a JSON. So I forget to do this. So I will need to repeat it again. Let me remove this one and let's try again. Okay, so now after we've specified that it needs to be outputted as an icebreaker, so what I will do is I will go here and change the content to icebreaker. Okay, because now we have a JSON, we have outputted as a JSON, so I will pass it here. Okay, so now good to go. I need to repeat again all of this. Let's execute again. Okay, great. So now after we do this, if we go to the leads, So you will see now all the icebreakers are added in the correct format. What I will do now is I will go here and add a node. But so now the next step is to actually add those leads into the instantly leads. Okay, if we go to our campaign, if we see leads, we will have this blank and we don't have any leads, so we need to add the lead one by one into this campaign, and it will be active, by the way. And once the lead is added, the campaign is active, so we will have automatically the email sent to that lead. Okay, so I will go and search for, I need first to prepare the field that I want to add into my instantly leads. So I will add a field, I will name it, let's say icebreaker will be the first one, icebreaker, and I will put it here. Okay, so this is the icebreaker. Then we will have the email, I will put it here. I guess this is the only thing that I need, and also the first name. So I need the first name, or let's just keep it as this, first name. Okay, email, first name. So honestly, for me, I just need those fields for my like email sequences. I use the icebreaker and use the email, of course, for sending the email, and I use the first name. So if you need like more data, you can add it into the Google Sheet and you can work with it. Okay, so let me see what else I can do. I need to execute this step so I can have the results. Okay, so let's execute this step. So now we have the output of this field. Okay, so now after we've defined like the fields that we want to send into our instantly, we need to send an HTTP request to send every lead to our instantly. Okay, so we can do that. Let's go and see their API documentation to see how we can send this HTTP request to add leads. Okay, I will go and create a new HTTP request. Okay, HTTP request. And for the method, of course, I think it will be post. Okay, let's do post. And for the URL or for the endpoint, so I will go to the lead, create a lead, and let's see the documentation. Okay, this is the link that I will work with. I will take this link. Okay, I will copy and go to the HTTP request. I will remove this one. I will just keep it, and I will paste this endpoint, and I will do post, and for the notification it will be none. And let's go. The next thing is, let's see what are the required fields that I need to send. So the first thing is we will need the campaign ID. I will copy this and go to the HTTP request. I will send it as the body. Okay, campaign, let's add another parameter. We have the email also. This is the things that we need to send, and also we need to add the first name, the personalization, of course. Let's add the personalization, and the website, no, the first name, and let's go here. And let's for the campaign, I will go to my campaign and see the ID. Let's go to the campaign, and here is the ID. I will copy it and put it here. This is for the campaign. The email, I will put just this, and the personalization, I will put the icebreaker. Okay, and then we have the first name. Here is the first name, and I think we're good to go. For the headers, authorization, of course, and we need to get our API key. So authorization, and for the API key, let's write a bearer, and we go to instantly to get the API key. I will go to the settings and let's go to the integrations and API keys. Let's create a new API key. I will name it N8N cold email for the scope all, and let's create, copy the API key, go back and paste it here. Okay, everything is good. We will add another parameter which will be for the content type, and I will put it here. Okay, and do the application JSON. So let's verify all of this. So we have the API key, we have post, we have the headers, we have the body, campaign, all the informations are good. So let's execute this step. Okay, so as you can see here, the 15 items are added, and let's go to my campaign and go to my test, and if we go to the leads, we will find here all the leads have been added. Okay, so I will just need to resume the campaign. But now if I go to the sequence and if I go to the variables, I can choose now the variables, and I can choose the personalization. Okay, if I do preview, you see here is the personalization. Okay, so now you can write the sequences exactly as I've explained them here, like you can follow this instructions, so we can create a very high converting email sequence. Okay, so I guess I talked about everything. So as you can see, this is the automation. We started with the form submission where we input Apollo URL, then we can scrape the leads and we will have all of the leads here. Then we filter the leads that has the email, so we need to make sure that the email exists, and then we will limit. So for this one, it's just for me, for my case, so I cannot like have a lot of leads, so it's important for me to only limit the leads. But for your use case, you will need to remove this, and then it will loop over the ChatGPT and the Google Sheet, so it can store all the leads into the Google Sheet, and then it will add them on the instantly. And as you can see here, we have all the leads have been added. So now after I do the options, I add the email boxes, I will just need to resume the campaign, and then the campaign will keep running, and here I can scrape thousands of leads. So of course this automation will save you like a lot of hours doing the cold outreach, and it's really helpful. I'm using it myself, and thank you so much for watching this lesson, and let's see you on the next lesson.